All right, we're officially live. All right, Uncle Ma'at Abed, Uncle Ma'at. Imhotep to all of you. Hello there, Himnetter Ames. How are you this morning?
I'm good. Uncle Ma'at to everyone. Peace and blessings.
You all for being here always. We are missing our opener of the way, but that is okay. We didn't want to, she gets in here before we get started with opening of the way, then she can proceed. Otherwise, Himnetter, if you don't mind, you can lead us this morning in the
Sure, I
opening
can do
of
that. I can do that. All right.
the way.
So, is my mic? Everyone can hear me clearly?
Hear you clearly, and you look well. You look very well this morning too, young man.
Yeah. Now, this is if you see this real quick before I begin. Team Squirt is a gentleman, my buddy up here. He's uh before me is again battling cancer, and so I was looking for something to wear today, and this was what I came up with. So we're going to give some myrrh and love to him and his wife and his speedy recovery. He's on some new stuff, but and I also have to remember the way y'all do it. But I got it. Okay. I hope I'm going to be a little bit out of focus with you guys, but everyone stand up. Um, as Sid Oye likes to say, and I do too. I like us to take 3 deep breaths, and on the third breath, letting out, we will proceed with the sound of life. Okay, everyone, breathe in, breathe out. Again, breathe in, breathe out. Here's the third one. Breathe in and begins with the sound of life. Om. Anajurak nebbit het, nuke nebbit het, Anajurak happy,
Happy,
nuke happy,
Nuke happy,
Tua inter,
Winter,
turn to the right. Anajurak circuit,
and the truck circuit,
nuke circuit,
Nuke circuit,
Anajurak kepsanute,
and the truck Kepsanoof,
nuke kepsanute,
Nuke Kepsanoof,
Tua uinder,
Winter,
Anajurak ast,
and the truck Ost,
nuke ast,
Nuke Ost,
Anajurak umset,
and the truck Umset,
nuke umset,
Nuke Umset,
Tua inder,
Winter,
Anajurak neat,
and the truck Meat,
nuke neat,
Nuke Meat,
Anajurak dramutef,
and the truck Dwamutef,
nuke dramutef,
Nuke Dwamutef,
Tua uinder,
Winter,
Anajurak newt,
and the truck Newt,
nuke newt,
Nuke Newt,
Anajurak geb,
and the truck Gib,
nuke geb,
Nuke Gib,
Tua uinder,
Winter,
Anajurak shoe,
and the truck Shoe,
shoe, shoe, shoe, shoe, nuke shoe, Anajurak tefnut,
and the truck Tefnut,
tefnut, tefnut, tefnut, tefnut, newt, tefnut, Tua uinder,
Winter,
Anajurak pa'ut neteru, nuke pa'ut neteru, Anajurak in boo neteru, nuke in boo neteru, Tua uinder.
Winter,
Lastly, the sound of life. Rahu into the rest of the day.
12, 12, 12, 12.
Wow. Now, I did, as you noticed, for you guys, did circuit into the east, but we must get on to that. I just didn't want to throw anyone off this morning, but I hope that y'all are looking at that and start incorporating um, the correct uh, 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 principle, natural rule, when it is just switching over. It's just putting in, neat and circuit and just switching them over. But as you can see, also, I hope you notice that you take your time. You don't have to rush through it. It'll help you to remember. I know sometimes we have some people and they be like, you haven't even finished one part of saying nuke and they have moved on. So I hope that we can slow that down a little bit and proceed forward. Are we going to do a reading opening? Would you like a reading opening first?
Well, we start with first. Let's just give homage to Baba Heru Dua, Baba Heru
Why?
Ra Samat Sepata, Ma'at Heru, opener of the way, bearer of Ma'at, custodian of the Ankh. We continue the ritual which you brought to us in its current formation as we live this living legacy. Typically, our reading, as far as the reading goes, that will go in a little in the fourth spot. In other words.
Okay.
All right. And we always start with our flowers, of course, giving flowers to all of our ancestors because without them, we would not be those near, those far. We also give honor to all of the Neteru. We give honor to Intepi, Djed Ma'at Aten Ra, also known as the Intepi Jabari, bringing the Shrine of Ma'at together. All of you who continue to come and support us every week, as well as Himnetter Ames. We give much honor and love to Himnetter Wasiri, who is not here with us right now, but he did start this journey off with us, and his wife, Tara, Sinette Tara, for always allowing him the time and the space. And we always want to lift him up in spirit and strength and making sure that that Jed Pillar is his strength as he continues to heal in his progress, as well as you, Himnetter Ames. With that being said, of course, you all know. And then, of course, I do like to set the feather. I always like to do the 4 deep breaths here, which prepares us for today's session. And we'll go ahead and do that. And our 4 deep breaths, the first one is to clear the mind so that we can receive what will be said today and be able to converse appropriately. So let's take our deep breath. And our second breath here is to clear the spirit. Take your breath. Our third breath is to lighten the heart. Take your breath. And our fourth and final is to breathe in Ma'at and exhale Ifset. I wake to live in Ma'at. I align my thoughts, my words, and actions with Ma'at. We do have a special guest today, and I'm excited. This is family to all of us, although all of the committee, you are family to all of us. But he is a Shrine of Ma'at native, and I like to bring him onto the stage. He will be providing us with some adoration today, and then we'll go into the rest of the service. This is our Jati out of Benue, the Jati of Phoenix. Many of you know him as Tahuti Forever. I've been following this brother for quite a long time. Many of you I've actually followed before I even knew that we were connected, and it's been a long time. So I've actually watched him on YouTube before even the Shrine of Ma'at, and I've been a Shrine of Ma'at member for 6 years now, going on 6 years, I would say. It's been about 5 or 6 years now, following the Shrine of Ma'at for much longer than that, but I've been seeing this brother on YouTube for a long time. So it's a great honor to have our own Jati come to the stage and open up a dialogue for us. And again, as you all remember, these sessions are adoration. Although we all learn something and take something away from it each week, we like to focus on adoration. Given, the church folks go to church on Sundays, they get their inspiration for the week. Well, this is our inspiration, so that each of us walk away from here a little lighter, a little less heavy, and prepared to take on the week and do the things that we're supposed to, on stage, off stage, unseen, seen, so that we carry Ma'at with us in everywhere that we go. So without further ado, I'd like to bring the Jati to the stage.
Look at my eye.
Okay,
Come on.
you. I also want to say happy solar return. I know we shouted you out last week, but you had a wonderful birthday just the other day. So I hope that you had a great weekend and love and myrrh with people that care about you and was able to celebrate you appropriately.
I did. My birthday was fantastic. I definitely appreciate all the happy birthday, happy solar return wishes. That was fantastic. Dua, dua, dua.
All right. Well, um, you guys know I like to talk a lot, so I'm gonna mute and I'm gonna go ahead and let you get the conversation started.
I'm okay to speak, brother. Henry?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. First, I'd just like to give my appreciation, dua, to Senka for actually having me on here and maintaining the spirit of comedic ascension, maintaining the spirit that we need every Sunday. And I just want to congratulate you for the work that you've been doing. Um, you mentioned that you followed me prior to the Shrine of Ma'at. So I just wanted to touch on that for a moment. I got into the comedic legacy on a trip I took to Jamaica. So me and the family went to Jamaica. We were out there for 4 months, and they had a Independence Day celebration. So being in their country or their island, I decided to look up their history, and I learned their history is the same as American history. The British came in, conquered them, enslaved them, and they had to fight independence from them. And on my journey looking up their history, guess who I ran across? I ran across Dr. Yosef bin Yakini. And I listened to his videos, and it just inspired me. And I decided everything from there then on forward was going to be about Dr. Ben. I was all Dr. Ben then on forward, bought his books, and I still didn't understand that there was a current community of comedic practitioners. I didn't know that. He didn't mention that, but he was giving me the information, and I'm reading his books, and I see the word Kemet, but it doesn't resonate with me that that's a term that I could look at in modern days and find a connection, and I just didn't know that. That's why I started that YouTube video. I thought I was by myself. So I started the YouTube video, and I'm just regurgitating Dr. Ben's work. That's what a lot of that was. And then I found Sonetta Television, Sonetta TV, and I saw Hemnetter and Tepi, Jabari Ozazi, and I was like, wait a minute, there's more of us out here. I literally thought, because I'm in Arizona, and we don't have a lot of culture like that out here in Arizona. I don't witness that. So because I'd never seen it, I assumed there was no such thing. And then I ran across Jabari, and I decided this is a great person. Let me go ahead and initiate. Let me take a back seat. And from then on forward, I have nothing but love and adoration for the Shrine of Ma'at, Jabari Ozazi, and the comedic culture and legacy. That's all I wanted to say for my opening.
Do for that. I will say that many of our stories are alike in that aspect, because you go down one rabbit hole and you find out that you're looking for your people and your people are looking for you.
Right.
And all of us, many of us feel like we're the only one. We're the only one that thinks this way or feels this way. And you click these buttons and you find your people who are also looking for you. So
True.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And so, yeah. It's everything comes in its due course. You and like I similar to you, like I can share. I was very ignorant. I will use that word of my culture in a true sense. And so here I am with a military buddy, and I'm like, oh, I know his new Stephen King book is coming out. Let's go over to the PX. I want to buy that before we depart. And he was like, so we in the store. He went with me, and he was like, why are you reading that mess? And I said, man, you don't like Stephen King? You know, he was very popular at the time. And I'm like, oh man, he has the stories and all that. He said, you need to put that mess down. And like I said before, he said it wasn't good for your melanin. And I didn't even know what melanin was, in a true sense of the word, that he was talking about my skin color. And so he took me out to a bookstore, and that's where my journey began. And then I got so involved that I got one of those, you've seen them binders. Like you, I bought my books. I said, well, I can't carry all these books. I'll take excerpts from it and scan it and put it in this binder. And I was walking around with this binder that weighed almost, I guess, at least 7 pounds, not about 5 pounds. Let's give it. It was heavy. I would carry it every day in a book bag, the leather book bag and stuff. And somebody seen me with it, and they said, you need to go down. And they directed me to Baba Haru, and that's how in the terms of following this. And so, and you'll like many of y'all, you'll see that we have a lot of the Kemetic, what they like to say, the Kemetic spirituality. But I'm going to go with what Sanji said last week. Let's go with more of customs and traditions, spirituality, and that name, and so that's how we're going to move forward, and that customs and traditions that migrated down as the people are starting with the Tawar or new people, that formed them different migrations out of the land we call Africa, Akabulan, but raised several of great civilizations. Two of them we know, Taiseti and Kemet, and where we get a lot of our stuff from. So it's good that we doing this now. Things that we have to do now, as we have gone in. Now we was in the 20th century. Now we're in the 21st century. We also have left what I call the grand. We'll talk more about this to understand the age of Pisces, and now we're in the age of Aquarius. And they call it air, but we're going to give its true titles the next time. We're going to give them the actual names under the Kemetic. Some of you might know yours. Like mine is Kepler. That's Cancer. That's in, so you should begin to know these things. But we know that each age is what. Anyone know how long an age is?
2,600 years. 2,600 years.
About 26,000. 26,000. 26,000 is the grand. That's with all the cycles. But let's say an age. How do you know how long an age is? Out of a little over 2,000. It's an age. And how do we know this? Even in Christianity. Let's go with. We're going to go real quickly into this. What was the symbol of Yeshua? What was two things that he did most of his miracles on, and he did? Anybody?
The lamb?
An element. Let's put it as an element. What element he's very known for doing miracles with?
Water.
Water, yes. He walked on water. He grabbed his disciples and said, "Follow me. I'll make you fishermen, men." He changed water into wine. That's all water. What is the sign of? What is the age of Pisces? Water. It has water And the next element in it is what? Two fishes. And remember, he fed the multitudes. Now, when you're talking with people, you can let them know that the Bible is astronomical. It deals with the heavens. It's, and all throughout it, but you can see the what we're getting to. And so the symbols for Christianity was the physical Pisces, two fishes. And so that's how they used to draw and know each other in the land. So that age, we are now have moved out of that age into the age of air, which is Aquarius, on that great cycle, which will last. That's why I say we at the beginning of the transformation. That's why we are seeing so many things happening, because we have transitioned from one age into a new age. And that how many remember beepers? How many
pagers?
Pagers, yeah, beepers, pagers. You can see how we transitioned from the landline into air, and how things will be. Satellites became more prominent. The transfer of information has gone steadily through the air. Most people look at it as being out there somewhere, but it is traveling through air. All means of, that's what I specialized when I was in the mid. So this was one of the things that our great teacher Baba Haru was talking about, how we're moving into a new era. And listen to the Fifth Dimension. They were singing about that too, the age of Aquarius. Go back and listen to that all. So we were being prepared to come into this age, and that's what we're in now. And so that is the thing as we go along. Sure.
Okay, so I do have a question, because I know that the astrology comes off of the Wheel of Dendera, but from my understanding, I'm not sure if I subscribe to the modern concept of astrology and the zodiac sign, but I do know that the symbols come off from Kemet, from the Wheel of Dendera. I don't know if it was the same concepts back in ancient times, but I like the concept, the modern concept of the zodiac. And one of the things I wanted to touch on is that you brought up is that it's a transitional phase from Aquarius, or from Pisces to Aquarius. And I just wanted to bring up, my birthday is the first day of Aquarius, so it transitions from Pisces to Aquarius. So that whole span is something that I celebrate myself.
And so as we take on this tradition, as we do every week, and we look in this and we want to expand on it, we have to sometimes take a moment and go and do some research. That's something I want y'all to do. Go research. I did a thing on the great cycle. And yes, Kemet did recognize, so did the Mayans, the Aztecs. Everyone understood the great cycle. Okay. And that it was 26 years. They didn't break it down as like we do it in, daily astrology and stuff like that. I don't see any record of it being brought forth like that, but they did understand the transitions of time. And you will know this. What's going on? It'll come back to me. I want to point out something to you, how you can tell that they realize this. And just like, and also the reason why I know they followed the stars and the things, because if you look at the mythos, as we were talking about last week, it started out with Stella. That's heavenly, watching the stars and paint, especially Septet. And then they also went to lunar, when they transitioned into lunar and then into solar, where it became that. And primarily when it went into solar, that's when the masculinity energy was presented more. And so this is some of the things we're going to do. And just like as before, I want us, a lot of us come from the shrine, out of the Shrine of Mahat. A lot of you studied to become members of the Shrine of Mahat. And as I said before, we are going to do something I haven't heard many other traditions try to do. But since we hold that tight, you know, we grab that Neteru principle, that principle, and everything it deals with. We know that it had what they call negative confessions. How many negative confessions are there in the of Ma'at? That should pop off your head real quick. How many?
42. Yeah, 42 negative confessions.
42 negative confessions. And these later shortened to the laws of Ma'at. This, I said, it's a short version of it. I kind of like, I feel, I got this years ago. This goes back into the 90s. But it kind of like went through the 42 laws in a simplistic kind of way. That's why I kept it for so long. And what we are going to start doing, before I begin, this is also in your Purdue. I believe it's page 160. Let me go. It's 168. Let me go. Make sure what number is this then. Here it is. I always keep it marked off. I thought I had marked it off. That is my mistake. I should know this. I believe it's 168, 180. Oh, your head number is being bad. He should have had it marked off, and I said, I'm going to put this right here so I can go forward with this in the plate so you can know. I am so sorry, but I will. I'm going to do it before we get offline. Where you can find the 42 negative confessions. I chose to, reason why I'm also choosing to do it from here is because of the wording and how it's being presented. And so, as I said before, okay, I got it. It is 189 in your Purdue 189. And it'll start off, because this is the first one we're going to go into. Hail Strider, coming forth from Anu. Not have I done wrong. And we're going to stop right there. And so, yeah, we're going to stop right there. Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Oh, hello?
Well, Uncle Mayat.
Uncle Mayat,
How are you?
I am fantastic. I'm doing really well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. And happy belated solar return to you as well.
Yes.
I am also kind of on the cusp. I'm like the third day after.
Tomorrow. Happy solar return to you. Tomorrow. All right. Well, as we move forward to Hootie, let's go ahead and get into what you are presenting for us today by way of adoration. And as I said, I mean, all that information is absolutely different. But keep in mind, we don't want to turn these sessions into classes. You know what I mean? So we definitely are going to have the space for that. For classing and teaching, we just want to make sure that you're able to present what you brought.
Yes, I did want to present something. It's something that I hold dear. When I first got into the Kemetic legacy, like I said, I didn't know that there were other practitioners. So I was kind of on my own journey, trying to find what I can find. So I went on to Amazon and looked up Purdin Haru, Book of the Dead, and I just bought the least expensive one I could. I didn't know exactly. Nowadays we call it the yellow book, right? That's the one that's the official book. Is the one we call the yellow book. But I went and bought the cheapest one I can. Yes, that one there, and this came up as about $8. It's the Book of the Dead by Ramses Salim, and it's important that we do find official material. And I was very lucky to find this material here. It is a comedic. Uh, some of the Book of the Dead or Purdin and Haru are not written from the same perspective that we understand it as. It's more of the colonizer's perspective. But this book is written from our perspective, and it was the first one I read. So one of the initial pages, it really caught my attention. If you go to page 10, it's here, and I'm just going to read one paragraph here. So in the papyrus of Ani is the chief scribe of Pharaoh Seti I. He wrote, "See, is it not written in these scrolls? Read, you who will discover in its future ages. If God has given you the power, if Neter has given you the power to read, read, children of the future, and learn the secrets of the best, which are so distant to you, yet in reality so near. Men do not live once in order to vanish forever. They live several lives in different places, but not always in this world. And between each there is a veil of shadows. The door will finally open, and we shall see the place where our feet have trodden since the dawn of time. Our religion teaches us that live. Wait, let me look at this again. Finally open, and we'll see where our feet have trodden. Our religion teaches us that we live for eternity. Thus, since eternity has no end, it cannot have a beginning. It's a circle. If therefore the one is true, namely that we live eternally, the other must also be true, mainly that we have always lived. In the eyes of men, God has many faces, and each swear he has seen the true and only God. Yet this is not so, for all of these faces are merely the face of God, our Ka, which is our double, reveals them to us in different ways by drawing them from the bottomless well of wisdom, which is hidden in the essence of man. We perceive grains of truth, which give those of us with knowledge the power to perform miraculous things. So that really touched me when I first read this passage. So I just wanted to open the floor up to discuss, this paragraph here.
That was
I'm
very
not.
powerful what you said, where it says here that Neter is revealed in different ways. And all of us, think we know the one true Neter, so to speak. But I, even all of us here on this team, you know what I mean? We all may have our own concept, but it's just like you said, the terror is revealed in various ways at various times in our life, and it's not always through adversity. You know what I mean? But it's multiple ways, multiple aspects, if you will, as we see the terror in the Kemetic tradition, how it's revealed in various ways. When you see the birth of your child, when you see the passing or the transition of a parent,
True.
when you go through something like Himnet or Ames, this transition kept a process through the treatment of cancer and getting through it. It's almost like the Neter is revealing him or herself in us, and so through our different visions, like you said, read if you see. And I think that is a powerful statement because everyone can attest they have witnessed and seen and felt Neter in all different manifestations. So I think that's a super powerful thing.
Wow.
So,
Well, one of the things that oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, I wanted to see if anyone else was going to chime in too. Because you had to
I
ask
mean,
that question.
yes, because I break this down. There's so much information in this one passage for me, especially reading it for the first time. I consider myself a very grounded person. I need to have the brass tacks. I'm not one that's gonna follow without having the information available to understanding why we're going in that direction. So just the very first half of this paragraph touched home for me so I can be grounded in the information, knowing that, the elephant in the room for Kemet is the fact that we have all of the artifacts written in stone. And people might want to question some of the validity, or if the ancient Egyptians were this, were they that, were they monotheistic, were they white, were they black? There's so many things that we have questioned, but the answers are written in stone. And it was very powerful to me when I read this paragraph, because it says the very first word. I wish I would have gave you a transcript where I can share it, but the very first word is the word see, SEE. I'm like, wow. It is saying, pay attention. Come and take a look at this. And what is it describing after it says see? It says, if you can read, you need to pay attention. And then it says, children of future ages. It's telling who he's asking to see, right? It's not just telling you to pay attention. Then it describes, I want you to pay attention in future ages, not the people today, not the people tomorrow, distant future ages. And they wrote it in stone. So that really hits home. I'm just going to read those first sentences here again. It says, see, is it not written in these scrolls? Read, you who will discover in future ages. If God has given you the power to read, read, children of the future, and learn the secrets of the best. That's how it starts. I'm like, wow. So I'm very enticed. I'm like, what, you're talking to me?
Yes. As Baba Haru said, they put it in stone because they knew one day that we would go through this transition of forgetting, of going through this transition where things were going to go out of place. Because again, it happened with them. That's why they had those intermediate periods. Have you noticed that by the time you get to this, I say the 10th or 11th dynastic period, they were trying to comprehend everything that was done back before them. You see that there were no more Kutis built go past the 6th dynasty. There's no more Kutis built after the 6th dynasty. That lets you know that something transitioned greatly that has been forgotten. And it still is forgotten. We have perceptions, we have engineering now, and so we go there. So seeing, but like I said before, when you see, it's your perception, it's truth. So seeing is truth. What is your truth? What is the truth how you see it? And it always reflects back into my eye. We won't go there, but it reflects on how you perceive what is being in that. And so when I think they're talking more about, and the word you were saying there, is that we know that there is an I that is greater than the two physical eyes. And I think that when we sit back and take time to reflect and go into that stuff, that what they miscall the third eye, I call it the first eye, is the one that sees, hears, and reflects on all. It's part of what we call the subconscious, because things that you have seen during the day can come back to you later on at night, or because it captures it all and it all goes into your subconscious. And so what I'm perceiving is when you go into that quiet place of meditation interpretation, we as the future generations will begin to see, because we will go internally, not to, not just reflecting on the physical, but internally begin to see things. As you read that scripture with that message, and you keep reading it, it goes into some, and it gives the mind a chance to reflect on it for you. First for you, because what is it? What is the thing that was written over our temples most? Know thyself. Everything in our tradition and customs was for the individual to know thyself. This is what your journey is on this path. Yes, we can get together as a group, and we can reflect and put ourselves in there. But your main journey, because when you know thyself, you in essence helping the divine know itself.
Okay. Let me pick up from where I left off, because it does, you exactly what you said is exactly what it's talking about. It says here, let me back up a little bit. Men do not live once in order to vanish forever. They live several lives in different places, but not always in the world. Between each life, there's a veil of shadows. The door will finally open where we'll see the places where our feet have trodden since the dawn of time. Our feet have trodden since the dawn of time, right? Our religion teaches us that we live for eternity. Thus, since eternity has no end, it cannot have a beginning, it's a circle. Therefore, the one is true, namely that we're eternal. The also must be true, mainly that we always lived. In the eyes of man. Now, this is the part that I find interesting, that I would like to bring up to people who may have conflict of interest, a conflict in what they believe. Show them what's written in stone. It says, God has many faces, and each of us swear that we've seen the only one. It's like, wait a minute. There's many different what we call natures. There's a nature to divinity, and we call them necharu. People claim that they've seen the one and only. I said that's not true. They're only the face of the necharu, which is our ka. It says it here. It's our ka, spirit. That's our spirit. All right. And our spirit is our double, which means we have our ba, which is our body, we have our ka, which is our spirit, and it's just us. It's a reflection of ourselves. So it's our double. And our double reveals to us in different ways. We see ourselves differently depending on which wavelength we're vibrating on. We got higher, we got lower, we got haru, we got what's the nature? Set, we got set, we got haru. And the thing is when I look at the Chimeric spiritual system, these are our ancient ancestors. They created it, and it's not like they were a different form of human. I don't subscribe to them being different than we are today. Like I said, I try to stay grounded, and I put myself in their position, and I can experience through just being my ancestors, being one with my ancestors. I can experience their mind frame, the things that they've experienced and what they went through. And I subscribe to these concepts that they created. These are concepts that I created myself prior to learning Kemet. And so when I read these things, and I read my original book that I wrote prior to reading these things, I see the reflection in it. I see that it's on the same wavelength. And the way I look at divinity is everything within all things. Divinity is not only the pretty and beautiful things. There's also disastrous and negative things, the tornadoes and things that are harmful. And I believe that's whole spectrum is something that we have within us, the entire spectrum of the natural root, right? That is within us. We can choose to vibrate on a higher frequency or a lower frequency based on the reality that we want to have seen in front of us. And higher frequencies are definitely better for society, help society move forward. But I don't subscribe to a good and bad. Personally, I don't subscribe to a good and bad. Like Himnetter and Tepi always says, we need to subdue the set energy so that we can have more positivity in our lives. But set energy is not bad. You know, you need set energy to procreate, the urges to eat, all those lower vibrational frequencies is something that can benefit us in our lives. So when I see this, all this information just floods to me, right? When I read this, I'm like, yes, there are many faces, and it's all our double. It's just ourselves, right? It's how we interact with ourselves, our ba and our ka. I'm gonna leave it there. I can talk about it forever. I'm gonna leave it there.
Hold on, Mike. Okay, yeah, there you go. Another thing is, it's true about the upper and lower nature. A lot of times we have put set in a negative nature sense kind of thing in our concept. And really, because one of the words that you was reading, that somebody was transcribing that and bringing forth to you, one key word I picked up in there that we have to run away from is the word religion. We to go back to ligaire, to tie and bind. We never had to do that. So I told you certain words are not mathematically sound, and they go back into your concept. And so I want us to always, even when we're reading these things, we must also know how to distract. Now, like you was going, you said we looked at, sometimes we say, like, we get ready to have another snow blizzard up here in New York. We said we just had one, and we was like, now they talking about this one is worse. It's gonna be like 12 to 18 inches, some places 18, like 2 feet. And I'm like, man, I go back. I was hoping the rain had come this week and melted all most of that other snow. It's not going there. Most people are saying it's a negative thing getting ready to happen, like tornadoes or earthquakes. We'll say that's a bad thing. No, it's a natural thing. It's a natural thing in its cycle of how the planet operates. Now, we have on our being on here, we have done things to upset the natural balance, but those things always happen. Earthquakes, all volcanoes, always. It is the natural process of the energy of the planet. So it's not a negative thing. It's a natural process. You know, and so and the same thing with us. We have natural processes, and it's all how we reflect on it. I can share some things. Y'all be like, "Well, I'm gonna do a mess," but I'm gonna do it one time. Well, a mess used to be and born and laugh with this terminology. I used to be a strip clubologist. You say, what did you say? A mess? I used to be a strip club homologist, meaning that I used to go to the strip club and go, hey, hey. Now, most people would say, oh, no, but I was happy. I was content. I didn't do all the wildness to me as other people, but I was content to be in there. And I had experienced that early in the military. So when I came back to the States, it was nothing. I was like, I don't see why you're getting all upset about all this stuff, this and that. Do you understand? So it's all about how you deal with stuff as you go through life. You know, you go through phases. It's knowing thyself. If you get angry, if you can hold that anger, be like, why am I so angry about this? You know, why should I want to do harm? You know, why am I being so judgmental to this other person? You know, I got some things I should work on myself. Why am I, so it's all about, like it says, take that sight and go inward first before you go outward. And this is what this journey is on this. I don't care whatever, spiritual path, as they like to say. I like to say traditions customs now. If you're going down, it's all about being the best that you can be, not only to yourself, but to your other fellow human beings that you come in contact with. They help build a society and then a nation. Is anyone else in the chat that chime in?
Yes.
Yes, Ben
Okay.
Curtis. Ben Curtis said, hold on. Make sure. Okay. The benefits of our shadow work and Kepler process increases our ability to be conscious of the ways our Neteru and ancestors seek to guide, inspire, direct, and protect us. He also said, thus improved quality of our spiritual condition. Yes, we clean our houses to be better able to see, hear, and receive our charge from the Neteru and our ancestors. Read for comprehension, comprehend for application, apply daily to reflect divine guidance by our walk. And then he says, becoming God, Neteru, conscious by living Mayats. Using our meiotic principles to regain and sustain balance between both energies on a basis. And altar work, prayer, meditation, reading, cleansing, offerings, and other practices we adopt in our lifestyle to balance our scales and honor our ancestors and lay a foundation of Mayat for our descendants to come.
Two. Like Jati said, he was mentioning that these faces of the Neter are simply faces of ourselves, shadows of ourselves. And like the principles of Mahat, and like you mentioned the higher and lower consciousness, we mentioned Heru energy set in tornadoes and sunshine. When it comes to Mahat, which is divine order, all anytime there is a ripple in the divine order, Mahat is always going to needs to restore itself. But even in our daily walk, let's just whatever you may do causes this that energy, causes this tornado. The ripple effect of this tornado is actions that you've taken. Okay? That tornado is Mahat. That tornado is necessary because balance needs to be met. Not something that you can physically manipulate. Just order will always consistently try. It will not even try. Always restoring. So whatever fate we see, like you said, these are our own faces. Many faces. And it could be whatever's going on in our life at that time. Each individual needs to be affected. The balance is still restored. So there isn't those energies are necessary because we're different. Not necessary, it's not an aspect innately within us. So they all work to the greater good of this person, this cause. Your set energy, your Heru energy, they're necessary. There are times when they can have that movement, like everything is in unison. There are times when one energy has to be more prominent than the other. So whatever's going on, or what face you're looking at of yourself. Even in the room, we talked about doing all of them or doing the part that you're not going to go in there and say everything about it. But Jati is going to go in there and say everything that went on in Jati's life. There's no hiding. You cannot hide. You can put on many faces. The father, the face of the coworker, the husband, the face of the wife. When you're just with, there is no other face. But all you have is you and you. So you can't hide that. All you can do is all of them. And all of the faces of you that you've met are part of you.
Two. That was great. That was really in depth. Wow. But yeah, we have to, like I said, we read these every day and read other things, uh, as it's kind of like C. I like that it says C, and we need to do that more in everything we do. And as we go out, as we walk out the door, as we encounter other people, or we see other things going on, let's try to, it's really saying see it sometimes, and to tell you this, that you kind of like, we had this, I don't know about you, but back in the day when I was growing up, it was a street term. Don't let me catch you sleeping. Right? You remember that? Don't ever let me catch you sleeping. Even your friends would tell you, we buddies, but don't let me ever catch you sleeping. You understand? So I was always telling you, your eyes open and take in your surroundings. You need to do that a little bit more. Yeah, even as we, read the scriptures, because I see people walking down the street, and I have to forgive myself sometimes. I can see people, especially, and I'm sure it's still going on, and I'm sure it's in it, that have this thing in their hand, walking down the street, or going up escalators, and they just read, they just walk, and sometimes they'll almost walk into you, and they look up and they'll go to the side, but they're in depth in this. And I said, this couldn't have been around when I was growing up. This right here could not have been around when I was young. Because you would have got, because you're not paying attention to what you're doing. You understand? And it was not, so, like that said, scripture is saying, and we doing this, are we just doing this just for ourselves? Are we just doing this? That's my question. I have the answer, but I'm asking, are we just doing what we're doing now? What that scripture saying, that reading, for ourselves, just for ourselves?
You know what? That's a very deep question, to be honest, because I am my ancestors. I am my ancestors. I 100% believe in that. So, being one with the all, one with Metru, it's all us. We're all one. But I also have children, and every effort that I put in to motion, even before my children was born, was so that when my children become flesh and bones, that they'll have a better life than I had at that time. So we do this for our legacy, we do this for our children, and we do this for us as being one with the nature, one with the Netru, and one with our ancestors.
And can you go back and read it once again, that you said it at the beginning in the reading? And we'll see how we're gonna paraphrase this real quickly, because what did it say? See?
See, is it not written in these scrolls? He said, didn't I write this? This is so great. Didn't I already just tell you this? It says, read, you who will discover in future ages. If the Netru has given you the power to read, children of the future, and learn the secrets of the best, which are so distant. Mm-hmm.
There you go. That's why I want us to, if we take a moment and we reflect and we start these discussions, you can go right back to exactly what you read in the beginning to start this conversation off. See, for the future. Written in what?
It said, is it not written in these scrolls? You who will discover in future ages.
Aren't we the future ages? Are we not the future ages? And continue on one more, continue on after that, after future ages.
If the Netru has given you the power to read, children of the future, and learn the secrets of the best.
There you go. And by our, we hope, as you said, for our children and our actions and our reflections, how we carry ourselves, that they can see this. and pick it up. You can carry it on for future. Because like I said before, the question was, are we doing it for ourselves? Just for ourselves. Yes, we're doing it for ourselves, but we are thinking of our future generations, great grandchildren, grandchildren, great grandchildren. We want this to go into the future. And there you go. Signed, sealed, delivered. Right there.
Beautiful reading. Beautiful reading.
Beautiful reading.
You know, see, and like you just said, according to the ancient scrolls, we are from there. It is up to us to determine what the future will see from what we do. So we put these down and we don't uncover the stones, just like you reading that text, like the work that each of us are doing every day. If we put that down, why would they even want to pick it up? You know, so I think it's critical. These videos, these things, technology can be a pain, but at the same time, that is our scroll right now. We're doing exactly what our ancestors they left it in stone for us to leave it in stone for them. It's a continuum, and in the same we said, past, present, and the future reside in. Yes, it does. And who do you just said? We are our ancestors. Without them, we would not be. They carried the torch and they passed it on. Even when they tried to cover it up, they made sure that there was a way to find it. They left these things for us to find. And now it is our duty, not only is our duty and obligation to continue to do that, do the work, and also to leave your children, their children, your grandchildren, and children after that will always know where to find. They shouldn't even have to, it should not even be such a task to look as it was for us. You know what I mean? We do exactly what the first word says, see. Not search, but see.
True.
And it as here we go again. We can see that the Tamahus that studies some of this stuff, they you know, that were going outside the Bible and all these other things. When they formed this country right here, what did they start it off with? In their Constitution, what does it say? To let you know they did study from us. It says, we love people. They had that already concepted, and we based it off. Even, you know, and you say, oh, they wasn't thinking about us. No, they wasn't trying to think about us, but because they borrowed from us, it came back to us. We love people. So, like, it's supposed, and that whole constitution that this nation is supposed to be based off of, the intricate parts of it, it was dealing with the society, we the people, and it was not meant for this back then. They were thinking it out for future generations. Like, it seemed like they had, you know, read that kind of verse and thought that out and put it in writing for the future for them. Now, how are we doing it now? Are we sitting down and writing out some new stuff for us? You know, our scholars, Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, have already spoke, and you have he was mentioning Dr. Ben and all his books. It's time for us to write the new things because they have done the work. They did the foundation, reaffirming and bringing this stuff forward and things and all that. Now it's us to start writing. Who are the new, like, who's going to be the new scholars and writers, scribes today, to put in things so that the generation that follows us can receive it and move forward. You know, because you run our days long. I think the mythite, the Shabaka stones, because when we came across a lofty capitals of what we call the mythite theology, and we said, you know what? I'm going to put this in stone. so it can last a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying? That not honor my ancestors, I'm gonna honor myself today and in the future. And that's one of the things that help us get to what we study, you know? So that's good. That's good. It was a great reading, my brother, and discussion.
Too. That's one of the things I want to do is that we're saying it in a certain way, but I wanted to just bring it out to the forefront. We're talking about our spiritual cycle. There's a cycle. There's life and new life, but it's all us, right? Future ages, the ancestors, our children. That's all part of the same energy, same being. And I just think it's so great that this passage was written under that mindset. Yeah, he went. So again, this is written by the chief scribe, Pharaoh Seti the First, and he's writing it from a position of authority, basically saying, "What I say now is something that you can hold through the ages. They can't tell you I didn't say this." That's basically what you think. When you're up against your oppressors in the future, you're up against conflict in the future, they cannot tell you that this wasn't said. You know, and that's how he starts this whole thing. So, and I just give out the dua to the great ancestors.
Yes.
Wow,
So
great meeting today. That was awesome. So, Dati, today to take away from here for those who are watching and those of us here, what out of this piece now, what I'm taking away is see the clear sight. What can you inspire or gather? What can you say to all of us watching to take away from this piece in terms of inspiration in the future to come for us?
Yes, I am very inspired by this piece myself. And anyone that's new to the Kemetic spirituality, Kemetic spiritual system, the ancient African spirituality, all of it resonates on the same frequency because all of our ancestors, we came about in the same manner. But what I would like to say to someone who's new is definitely understand things that resonates with you because we are our ancestors. We know this information. Some call it the Akashic records. We know this information already. It's in our DNA, it's in our genes. When something doesn't sound something that resonates with you, do some deeper research. Find out if it's because a lot of things transpires in our lives that kind of gives us calluses. Some things transpire in our lives that kind of manipulates our natural mind. So sometimes we have to fight against these different urges, but do good research, understand exactly what our ancestors were telling us, especially when you're faced with conflict. Go back to the original passages and see what was said. And understand that our ancestors are us. That they were not aliens, or, well, you know what? That can be contested. That's not the platform for this, but yes, we are stardust. We do come from space. Okay, that's something that I subscribe to. So I'm not going to say the word alien, but the
I'm
way
an alien. I am not from planet Earth.
Oh yeah, I'm saying. So I'm not going to contest that. But the way the Tamahu talk about it, as in, aliens came from space and built the pyramids, and it wasn't from our boots on the ground, as if ancient African people didn't have the technology, know-how, and the skill set and the determination to do it. No, our ancestors had that determination. So I don't want to say the word alien because, hey, we are stardust. We do come from, we're not born here. But not the way the Tamahu described it, right? That is us. We are our ancestors, and we put our hands to the middle. We created our our comedic locations.
And
But that's what I like to do. Coming into the understanding is definitely do your research and find out exactly what resonates with you, and find the information in stuff.
and to go along with what you just read, we are talking about, and to help us along with this that you just read to us, and we talked this in this discussions. It's called the 10 virtues of an initiate. So here we're gonna go, and these are what we're gonna filter on as we move forward. Not because it help us during the week and moving forward. Control your thoughts. Control your actions. Have devotion of purpose. Have faith in your master ability to lead you along the path of truth, which again you spoke of. Have faith in your ability to accept the truth. Have faith in your ability to act with wisdom. Be free from resentment under the experience of persecution. Be free of resentment under the experience of wrong. Learn how to distinguish between right and wrong. Learn to distinguish the real from the unreal. That's all in what she was reading, and also this is your life as we live it. Because in there it says wisdom. Wisdom is the experience. You gain wisdom through life experiences. I'm still acquiring wisdom. You are still, and so it didn't end when I became a priest. It didn't end when I became hymnetta, serving. I'm still on this life's journey of obtaining wisdom to help me know myself. With that, I turn it over to you, Stan.
That is all of that was so. Gosh, I got a lot out of today. That was wonderful. As far as prayer requests,
I forgot to say it came from this.
Oh,
it came from this.
Egyptian
It came
proverbs.
from
I love those 10. In fact, I might have you.
Okay, we're going on page 28. Page 28 of this book. It's a good one to reflect on. I've read from it before. I just got the newer version. In other words, it's by Dr. Martha Ashby, and you'll find this on page 28 of that, of the 10 virtues of initiate. Even if you're not an initiate, you're just 10 virtues you should share in life.
All right. Well, as far as prayer requests goes, we didn't have any specific requests, but of course, we always like to give prayers to Hymnetta Ahmed as well as Hymnetta Wasiri. Any of you all that want to reach out to Hymnetta Wasiri, contact Sinette Tara. Hymnetta Wasiri would love to hear from you. He's having trouble with speaking right now. So if you do want to reach out to him, if you do not have her contact him, you can inbox me and I'll send that to you. And we'd love to hear from you. A couple of members have reached out to me. And I've reached out to him, and I know that he's very, very thankful for that. Outside of that, no announcements that I have. Each week, of course, we're going to bring something new, and I'll be, many of you, I'll be reaching out to you. A lot of our hymnetters that are in our shrine, I'll be reaching out to you all. Come on and present adoration for us as well. It's growing, and I think that we are certainly making Hymnetta Wasiri proud of moving along, each week, and it's been exciting. And today, I am going to ask if our Sinette Oye would like to close us out with a prayer. Now, this doesn't always have to be something read or remembered. It can be straight from your heart. Yes, I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm going to, if we have permission from Hymnetta Ahmed, I'm going to ask you to close us out with prayer.
I love it.
Okay. He always gonna put me on the spot. But it's cool, it's cool. So that's only because see I have a motto and it's stay ready so you don't have to get ready. However, I don't live by my motto. I don't know why. And I only say that because I have this book called Speaking with Spirit, and I was like, I need to get my book out because there's a prayer in there that I like, and I was like, I need to get my book out so that I have it ready just in case she tried to get me. And she got me today. I don't have the book out, but it's okay. I'm gonna try to do it off the top. So y'all bear with me. I'm a lady of not a lot of words for the most part, but when I do speak, I like for the words to be effective. All right. So first and foremost, I like to give honor to the ancestors, spirit guides, to the netter, and we just ask that you go before us for this week. We set our intentions for this week that it be smooth, swift, and just no drama if possible. If possible, we ask that we remain covered in our protective energy. I like to put up my protection shield. Excuse me. And so we want to put our protection shields up around us for the week, so that nothing can intervene, can get to us. And yeah, so and that's all I'm gonna say for right now.
And that's
I'll
different.
do better next time.
No,
No, you did good this time. You didn't
You
do
did
no better.
great
You didn't do
this
no
time.
better. You did good this time. Like I
Exactly.
said,
It
you
doesn't
did
have
a
to
lot of
be.
things on top of us. Yeah, no, you did good.
You don't have to have anything read, rehearsed. Just straight from the heart, from the app. Tati, would you like to close us out with any words?
Um, I just like everyone to be authentically melanated, be true to yourself. You hinted towards it before that no one knows everything. We're all learning, all on a journey through life. We're all divinity and flesh, and live in your purpose. Life happens to us. Life does happen, and it's not always a beautiful thing, and there are always going to be challenges. Do your best to grow, learn from those challenges, never make the same mistake twice, and keep pushing on. We need everyone's energy. We need to galvanize our people together. There's enemies that have agendas for us, and we need to be able to control our own futures and move forward with a purpose. You are in turn.
Yes.
Sure. I forgot one more thing, and then better close us out. You just mentioned you brought something, sparked the word elevation. If you guys have not checked out Melanation app yet, which is the Hidden Forever's name on Facebook, please check out the app. Many of us are members and learning, navigating, learning on how to use the application. But it is, I think Curtis once said, which I love, for us, by us. Check it out, Melanation app. You'll learn a lot. Any of you content creators or anything, it's a wonderful, wonderful app. So take a look at that. That is ran by Creativity Forever. And again, that's his Facebook page. So take a look at that app and check it out and become a member. It doesn't cost you a thing.
Yes, huh? Say again?
And that are our best. How about you close us out with something? Anything?
Oh wow. Yeah, here you go. Hey, I get put on the spot. I thought I did with the 10 virtues.
Okay, okay, you did. I just wanted to make sure that each of us had closing remarks. I didn't have anything else to add.
Well, like always, as you said, um, let this session be something that you can reflect on today, and then during the week, may it help you to grow. As I said, every week, the whole thing is it's not just us. We get to know ourselves on this life journey. That's what this is about. That's like a hint to what we can call it. So we here to know thyself. And all the good and what some people might say bad, but like I said, it's all your journey. Long as, just put it this way, I look at bad as long as if it does not cause no harm to another person or their property. Something outside yourself. When it's bad, it is when it's in you. It's your learning process. Something that you have to reflect on. So maybe that'll help you get through the week. That you're trying not, whatever you're doing, you hope that you do not no harm to another individual or their property, their personal property. Okay? Yes. Is that a good one?
The only word that I'll leave here with is that first word out of what he read. See. Walk away from here and see. May our visions be better and our hearts be better.
Mm-hmm. And do it first in that mirror. And look
That's
up in that mirror.
Got it.
All right, everyone.
All right, well, Shimmy Ma'at, and see you all next week. You all for being here with us, Nati. We'll have you back as soon as possible. You're welcome anytime.
And we want more of you to come in. For some reason.